YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Crypto J coming at you with another J Talks Crypto. If you're brand new to the channel, hit the subscribe and the bell notification. We talking about some Toshi today, boys, but I gotta let you know it's not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just the homie Crypto J, and we just talking about crypto today. As you guys can see, Bitcoin tumbling down just a little bit today, right? Coming in at a 108. We did talk about the fact that a lot of the times we do see fake outs happen on a Monday, right? And it does look like we've seen a fake out happen today, right? Total market cap coming in at a 3.42. Fear greed index ticking back to an 86. And as you guys could see, you could see that fake out that we talked about happening. Boom, right? We've seen a fake out that we were going to break 110, and here we are at 108 now, but we're still creating higher lows, so that's positive. We could still break up out of this. Some people thinking we will, some people thinking it'll happen, right? It's really going to depend on the market sentiment this week. We do know that usually price action, real price action, I think, at least in my opinion, happens later on in the week, happens more towards Thursday, right? Wednesday, Thursday type of day. Usually Thursday though. And then market sentiment usually sets in on Friday, and then the weekend sometimes we'll just see a little bit of sell-off, which is, in my opinion, what we're coming out of that weekend sell-off. Early in the week fake outs, people get liquidated. It's pretty much the norm, but again, we're still in an uptrend, so I'm not too worried about it. I mean, if I was sitting on the one-day chart, I'd be freaking out, but again, I always try to look macro and then start zooming in from there, right? As you guys can see, the 1 year chart's still looking solid, looking like we could still turn this up and still have some positivity and some of that bull market euphoria come back into the market if Bitcoin decides it wants to have a good close. We talked about just earlier today the importance of us having a good close, right? Doesn't seem like we had a horrible close. You could see we were bleeding even more than we are right now, but we've started to chew up this candle a little bit, which is again what we need to happen. So it's letting me know that these guys are still fighting back, as you guys can see in the volume down here, that the bulls are still in the game, guys. They're still in the game. As a matter of fact, these bears barely got a little bit of red right here on the weekly. So again, these guys have been very bullish every week. We'll see if this is another bullish week for Bitcoin, right? This candle right here will take a week to play out. So we'll see if we can print some green, and if we do, man, we could be headed up, up, up quite a bit, right? It could be a possibility. Again, we also can reject off of this zone here. You can see we had a touch right here as well. You can see a lot better with, oh no, you can't. You can see a lot better with this. You can see we touched all the way up here, and then boom, right? But can we break out this time? Is this time the lucky time for Bitcoin, or is Bitcoin going to start descending? As you guys can see, a lot of people in the peanut gallery giving their 2 cents. Somebody said, good morning, everybody. It's 9 o'clock. He's saying he's bullish on Bitcoin. Oh, just wants to say hi, put a little heart and a little kissy face or something. What the? That's not a prediction, but let's see if anybody else has the predictions. A lot of people, it seems like, bullish right now on the market, feeling good about it. Interesting. What do you guys think? You guys think that we're going to see a new all-time high pretty soon with Bitcoin? This guy's thinking so, right? Bullish on BTC, that guy says. Interesting. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section. We're going to talk about some Toshi, because I know you guys like to talk about Toshi. As you guys can see, Toshi coin feeling a little bit of grunt from this little market fake, right? You can see we had our own little fake. We were looking like we were going to break out. What the? Broke all the way down back to 295. It was a good try today, but again, with Bitcoin breaking down, it just seems like the rest of the market also saw a little bit of sell-off, which is not surprising. Again, we did talk about the fact that that was a good chance of a possibility. Usually on Monday, that's kind of what we see, right? And so now we're just kind of thinking like, okay, well, I'm thinking that we kind of really have to see something happen here. 15-minute chart's looking like correction. 15 minutes chart telling me that we're going to possibly see correction. 14-minute chart telling me it's just too soon to say, right? We saw some support down here. Maybe we bounce off this range. You know, I thought that we had a wedge here. Maybe we do still have a wedge. This could still crank back up, create a bull flag, and, you know, start sending. So that's not too bad. As you guys can see too, the 1 day not looking horrible either. We need to have a good solid close to create a bull flag here on the 1 day. as well. So, in my opinion, probably the 3-day is going to be really telling, right? Yeah, in my opinion, the 3-day is probably the most telling chart on this. And in my opinion, this is actually looking pretty good. This could be a bull flag here if we could bounce off this level of support, right? We do want to create new levels of support. That's actually a good thing. Believe it or not, I know a lot of you guys were buying it when it was way up here, and then you were surprised when it came down, but there wasn't a lot of support, right? See, that's the important thing about support. It actually helps you later on. So hopefully it helps you. Sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it does. But again, the more levels of support that we can gain on Toshi, the less volatile it would be in the future. So again, I like the fact that it is creating higher lows here. It's telling me that maybe it's establishing new levels of support. And in my opinion, that's exactly what we want for Toshi. We want Toshi to continue creating new levels of support, right? We don't want to see big parabolic run-ups like this, because a lot of times they have big like huge drops also. So again, just something to pay attention to, right? We don't want to be buying in on things that have just went up like 500, 600% like last time. You know, we want to actually find good entry points, in my opinion. You want to, you know, probably be buying stuff when it's on sale instead of buying things at an all-time high. And again, I'm not telling you to go buy Toshi. As a matter of fact, don't buy anything that you ever see in my videos or on my channel, guys. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a homie. But as you guys can see, Toshi coin is looking pretty decent in my opinion today. I know it's a little choppy, right? Big Toshi down 2%. But again, Bitcoin is not out the game, guys. Don't count Bitcoin out the game just because it's on a little dip right now, right? Like, we on a dip, but this is my favorite rocket ship. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is creating higher lows here. So I'm not really tripping too much. I'm just kind of patient. Again, there's a lot of big investors that are talking about the fact that they're accumulating. These are times when smart money is accumulating, and times when retail is usually panic selling. We did point out a lot of indicators that this is a possible top to the thing, but it's just not probable in my opinion. We do, right? We talk about possibilities and probabilities, right? There's always a possibility of something happening contrary to the chart, right? So in my opinion, the possibility is that we're still creating an uptrend. We have a cup and handle, a double bottom here. There's just more things that are pointing to the fact that this chart can go up. So I would say that the probability is that Bitcoin is going to see a breakout. But we have to also pay attention to the probability, right? Or the possibility, right? The probability is that it keeps going up. The possibility is that we create a double top similar to what we did here, right? Always have to keep the possibility also in mind, just because, right? But again, it's not the probability. That's just the possibility. Right now, Bitcoin making a good solid comeback, in my opinion, creating higher lows on the 1 month. It's looking good on a lot of these more macro charts. The only chart really not looking good. Daily chart. Daily chart looking a little ugly, but I'm not too concerned. Even if this thing needs to see another correction down in the short term, I'm not afraid of that. I think that that would, again, be a good thing. We talked about the 100K range. This guy pretty much drew a line right around the 100K, right? So again, we'll see if Bitcoin will drop down and hit 100K, or if Bitcoin will shoot up and hit 115. In my opinion, it's going to be one of those things is going to happen probably by Sunday. We'll see either 115 or we're going to see 100K possibly. Maybe even we'll see that 115 happen by Thursday. I'll say that. By 115 by Thursday, if we do not have a good solid breakout, then I would say 100K by Sunday. How about that? That's my prediction, guys. It's just a prediction. Do with it what you want. It's not a financial advice thing. I'm not telling you to go short the market. I'm not telling you to go long it. I'm just telling you that's what I think will happen. But again, you got to do your own research. You know, different people will see this chart differently as well. So, you know, a lot of people asking me too, when do I think that the bull market will start? Well, that's funny because I think that it started in 2023. And that's why I've been telling people that this bull market started down here at $15,000 Bitcoin. Bitcoin has already hit 111,000. So a lot of you guys, I hate to break it to you guys, but a lot of you guys are late to the party, especially if you were buying up here. A lot of people that complain on the channel, they do that because they over leverage. They came in late to the cycle and then now they're upset. But guys, we've been talking about Toshi really since $10 million. Like, it's been almost a full year now that I've been talking about Toshi. So again, just understand that, you know, one, I don't think that the cycle's over, but two, just understand how far Bitcoin has already came this cycle and kind of where you got in at, whatever that means to you. Maybe you did, maybe you were one of the people that was watching down here. I was making videos every day down here. We were trying to find the bottom of Bitcoin. I was telling you guys, this is incredible. It's an incredible, amazing opportunity. Bitcoin shot up. I was telling you guys, even right here, there's a good chance that this thing, you know, starting to cup and handle, starting to create this little bull flag, can have a big run up. And look, we've done it a couple of times. Another bull flag, another bull flag. Look at this, another bull flag, right? Interesting. Can Bitcoin have what it takes to rip on to 200K? Would you guys believe that from 2023 being at 15,000, if Bitcoin can hit 200,000, then honestly, guys, I don't understand how people could question a $1 million Bitcoin if just in one cycle we went from 15,000 all the way up to 110, 111. And then again, if we max out at like 200,000, I'm just going to laugh, man, because I always said that Bitcoin will shock the world. And I do feel like that. I feel like Bitcoin will shock the world. I know a lot of people come and go in this space. I see them all the time. A lot of influencers, especially, they like to join the space and then leave when the things get tough. But guys, I'm here to stay because I believe in this cause. I've been believing in this for too long now. Bitcoin has been a part of my life for a very long time. So it has a special place in my heart. That's why, one reason why we always talk about Bitcoin at the beginning of the video. Also because it has a certain amount of dominance, right? I mean, it's the confidence in the market. We're not going to have a healthy market without a healthy Bitcoin. So we got to talk about Bitcoin. But I just want you guys to understand again that the cycle really did start in 2023 at 15,000. So just understand that, you know, if Bitcoin did want to start seeing a big, massive correction, which again, the logarithmic doesn't tell me that we're necessarily going to see that happen. But if that wanted to happen, I would not be upset at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all either, because again, when an asset goes from 15,000 all the way up to 111,000, don't you think that even if it needed to drop down like significantly, like, don't you think even if it dropped down to like 60K, that would probably be necessary? That would still be an insane return for the people that were buying down here. And that's why I always say that people that dollar cost average historically have just kind of won, right? People that were, and that's why I always say too, I'm looking for Bitcoin at a cheaper price. I'm trying to get the cheapest Bitcoin I can get. I don't know how much longer I can get a cheaper Bitcoin. I don't know what's going to happen, you know? So, as always, guys, this is super speculative. I'm not telling you this so you could FOMO into Bitcoin or anything. I'm just letting you know that, again, this is a speculative market. It's going to be volatile. Be ready for that. Don't be over leveraged in this market. It's not going to be a good time if you guys are spending money that you can't afford to spend. And again, just keep things in perspective. I know probably if the market does decide it wants to break down, you're going to hear a lot of people crying, complaining. You guys know how it is. You're kind of seeing how these corrections go with the complainers and the people that, again, we're trying to shake their, well, I'm not trying to do it. The whales are trying to shake these paper hands, right? I have no price impact on an asset like Bitcoin. It's at $2.16 trillion. I don't have a price impact even on Toshi. Toshi's at 295 million. That thing is getting big, right? So again, I'm just letting you guys know that even though these market caps are big, this marketplace is very volatile. It's very prone to heavy swings. And if you are not ready for that, then you should not be in this space, especially in times like this. Honestly, if you guys are not ready for a correction, then why are you still holding on at the top, buddy? Because the correction is going to come sooner or later. And so, again, just understand that these charts don't go up forever. And sometimes they do go down and up and down and up and down. So, you know, just make sure, again, that you're not investing money you can't afford to lose. Again, it's not financial advice. You could really do whatever you want. If you want to go sell your house and take out a huge loan and put it all in the butt cheek token or whatever, you can do whatever you want, man. But I'm just saying, for your mental health, for the sake of your marriage, maybe, for your kids, don't be an idiot, man. Don't be an idiot. Don't be greedy. There's time, okay? There's gonna be time. But will there be time in this cycle? Only the market will decide that, right? Even our president, bullish on crypto, right? We got our president telling us even buy stocks, right? We got all these things coming out of all these big people now that, again, we never had this type of support ever from a president, ever. Bitcoin, ever. It's been like a war on Bitcoin before. And now it's like these countries are going to war so that they can own Bitcoin. You know, they're trying to own it. They're trying to buy it up. In my opinion, they might be the ones manipulating some of this price to get a cheaper price on it. That tends to be kind of what we've seen in the past. You know, big institutions, hedge funds, and other entities that come and manipulate this marketplace, and then they end up owning a lot of it, right? Only so that they could manipulate it more in the future, right? But again, guys, cryptocurrency, in my opinion, this is still the opportunity of a lifetime. Even at $3.4 trillion, people don't really understand it. A lot of people just get into this and they really, I don't know. They just get into it, I guess, because they heard about it from their friend and they just want to learn it, or they're just here for like a little while or something. But again, if you guys really understood, if you took the time to understand even just the market cap, and have a perspective of just how small the crypto space is, you know, we're smaller than most companies, right? We're smaller than a lot of companies still. So again, that's the entire market. Like all these coins put together, this number right here is smaller than a lot. For a long time, we were smaller than Apple. We were smaller than Amazon. And we've been going back and forth, flipping those two. So that, again, just shows you how small that this marketplace is. I think that this marketplace could actually one day be bigger than the stock market. The stock market's at like 95 trillion. I just see a future with crypto. Maybe I'm crazy. I've always seen it. I've been Crypto J on YouTube since $3,000 Bitcoin, and I've been doing crypto now since before Bitcoin even came out, before Bitcoin was even publicly traded. I remember when it was decided that it was going to be publicly traded. I remember when it hit $30. I remember when it hit $100. I remember when it hit $1,000. I remember when it hit 3,000. I remember when it hit 60,000. I remember when it hit 100. Dude, I cried when it hit 100, bro. You know why? Because it took me years to watch that happen. And it took a lot of patience in covering this and watching the news, and a lot of just time spent into this space. And that's really what it takes. It does take you spending time, you getting to learn it, you getting to understand it. There's plenty of time to do those things. In my opinion, the best time to do those things is times like right now. Sharpen your sword when the market is down, so that way you can make the necessary moves, right? I'm paying attention to these things that have volume on the dip. What are you paying attention to? Butt cheek token? I'm just saying. Pay attention, guys, to the volume, where it's going, and maybe you might get lucky again in the future. It only takes one time to be right. That's another thing too. You only need to be right one time, guys. Some of you guys are all in on one coin, and I think that's really dumb. And you guys got to also learn about market cap, understand how small and how volatile your coins are. Some of you guys are in some stuff that's like super small market cap, like $1 million market cap, and you're like freaking out when it drops down like 60%. Well, get ready for that. Get ready for 60, 70, 80% corrections on a coin that is at a 1 million market cap. Totally, 100%. I mean, even with a 10 million market cap, get ready for that, right? And if you're not ready for that, then again, you probably shouldn't be trading into something like that. Maybe you might have a better time trading into Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's sitting a lot bigger. Bitcoin is a lot bigger, right? It's at $2.16 trillion. So if somebody sells $1 million worth of it, it's not going to come tumbling down, right? Some of these coins are very volatile. They don't really take a lot of money to make a lot of money, but some of you guys are over investing into crap coins and you're not reading contracts. Super dangerous, getting liquidated. Dumb stuff. I've seen people liquidate for like $20,000-$30,000, and I told them so many times, dude, don't do that. Don't get into that contract. It's not a good idea. You're gonna regret that. And sure enough, they knew it all. They heard from so and so. They get into it, and then they're down, and then they're confused. And I'm like, dude, I don't know what to say, buddy. I'm not your financial advisor. Told you to do your research. You decided you didn't want to do your research, and so you got wrecked. And does he deserve it? I don't know. Some people would say he does deserve it. Some people would say he doesn't deserve it. But in my opinion, you got to do your research, guys, because, again, cryptocurrency can be a dirty, nasty game if you don't know what you're doing. So, again, I appreciate you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next video. Peace.